All right, we are in record mode and welcome. I am your host for this series and for this class today, Chrissy Key Rollins, and I'm excited to invite you to the Holistic Empowerment series. It was on my heart, a strong nudging, urging that this information needed to come out. It needed to be available for as many people as possible, and there needed to be no excuses not to plug in and receive a broader perspective, another consideration. I am a big believer that we know instinctively what the right move is for us to make, what the right direction is for us to go, what the right methodology to move through life is for ourselves. But when we don't know that we have all these other options out here, other than what we have been introduced to so far, been following so far in our life, then we would miss the opportunity to explore other options. So throughout this series, the information that I'm going to be bringing to you is a culmination of the best practices that I use in my day-to-day life for myself, for my family, and for my clients to help us to stay balanced, focused, at ease, relaxed, calm, and consistently moving forward towards whatever it is that we are looking to accomplish. Now, right now, at the time of this recording, we're going through probably the biggest global situation that I have dealt with in my 41 years on this planet. And it is a time where a lot of things are getting stirred up. A lot of things are outside of our control. There's a lot of fear that's in the air. And I feel that it's more important than ever that as many of us can stay calm, connected, grounded, centered, and focused as we continue to move through this current experience. I feel the better not only for ourselves, but for the whole of humanity altogether. Now, what I'm going to be talking about throughout this series is the fact that you have two different experiences that you have in your life. You have this external experience of what is happening whenever you go through life through your five senses. So you are seeing, touching, feeling, watching, observing what is happening in life around you. You have this external experience. Along with that, you also have an internal experience. It's this inner dialogue that is going at all times, this inner conversation, this inner negotiations, comparisons, judgments, strategy making, all of this internal world that's going on. So while we are limited in how we can move about and what it is that we're doing in our external world, this is the perfect time. In fact, I would even argue that all of life is setting us up to do this very thing. But it's the perfect time to start to pay attention to, take better inventory of, and begin to manage or at least observe and decide for yourself if you want to continue, not only with the methodology that you're doing externally in the world, but how you're experiencing yourself on the internal level. And throughout this series and throughout today's class, that's what we're going to be talking about. How can you use this data that you're collecting externally from the outside of yourself to better understand what is happening internally? And through that experience, you're able to better understand where your control lies, focus your attention in a way that serves you best. And again, if you don't know that there's another option, then how are you going to know to be able to experience it, or that it's there for you to experience? And while some of us are, yes, we're still working towards those external goals in life, where it is that we want to be in our life, financially, family-wise, whatever those external goals are. Right now, a lot of us are setting internal goals just to be able to make it through the day, to be able to keep breathing, moving one foot in front of the other, continuing to hold our roles as business owners or leaders or parents, the ones that are looking to guide other people through this process, looking to be a stable support system for others that are needing to lean on someone during this time. And if that's you in particular, I am so glad that you are here and part of this series, because this is all about fortifying yourself so that you can not only better support yourself as you go through life, but better support those that are around you as a whole. So I commend you for taking this time to focus on yourself. I encourage you to follow along throughout this series. I also encourage you to reach out to me. Let's connect further if you have any questions, if I can bring any other clarity. And during this time, I'm also offering some one-on-one support sessions at no charge, so that you can just kind of have that, not kind of, but exactly, you can have the space to focus and get very clear about what that next best step is for you and whatever direction it is that you're looking to go. So today, what we are talking about is we are joining our class number 1, which I'm going to be sharing with you 3 keys for instant empowerment. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up those slides, and I have the lines muted out. So anybody that is here live on the line, I've got you on mute, and if anybody who is hopping in, because I am doing this as a live stream recording, then they will be muted as they join. And then once I complete the content that I had on deck for today, if we still have people here live on the line, if there's any questions, I'll ask, and if I need to open it up for Q&A, I can. And if you're watching this in replay, thanks for tuning in, and please feel free to send any questions or further inquiry over to me. I'm here to support you any way that I can. And I'm going to leave this series open for people to join over the next couple of weeks as I'm delivering the information. So feel free to pass along an invitation to your friends as well. All right. Thank you for getting caught up, and so that we're on the same page together. Let's go ahead and dive into today's class. So let me pull it up here so I can share what it is that I have going on my screen for you. Put this in share mode, and let's go ahead and pull up these slides. Wonderful. So again, welcome. This is the 2020 Holistic Empowerment Series. This is a Holistic Restoration LLC contribution to support uncertain times. Now, currently, again, as at the time of this recording, we are facing a challenging time within our society, and this is a contribution on my behalf to be able to support those that I feel need to receive another consideration. Oh, this is the other thing, which is why I'm bringing this back up. Who am I, and why am I teaching this course? Again, Chrissy Key Rollins. I'm the owner of Holistic Restoration. This is my 14th year helping people to restore themselves physically, emotionally, spiritually, help them to regain and find balance within themselves and within their lives around them. And what I'm going to be sharing throughout this series, as I already mentioned, are my tried and true practices. So my best tips on how I make it through the day to keep my sanity intact, to keep my peace of mind there, to allow this equanimity, this continual flowing state experience of life, regardless if I get inundated with unexpected upheavals within my family, within my household, within my physical self, or within the society that I participate in. So that is who I am, and why I'm teaching this course is because I have found that there is different thought processes, different mindsets that I can adapt and that I have adapted, that as I continue to integrate them into my life, it allows me to breathe easier, relax more, panic less, and feel more supported, fulfilled, connected, and guided in my life. So everything that I'm going to be bringing to you, if you just listen to the words that I say, you'll probably find some benefit. If you take what it is that I am saying and accept this invitation to integrate them into your life and begin to experiment with them within your own life, to me, that's where the magic happens. So I always say, don't take my word for it. Put this to the test in your own life. And what I love about approaching this as an experiment is that you're going to quickly see if it's working for you or if it's not, if it's something that's helpful and something that's beneficial, or if what you were doing was working better. And you can always go back to that. So this is just an opportunity to experiment and play with life and your thought processes from a different angle. Much of life is happening all around us. We can consciously understand that there is more happening around us than what we can perceive or tune into. We know that there are molecules and particles floating around in this what seems like invisible air with nothing around us. We know that if we get down under a microscopic level, there is something there. We know that there's radio waves that are transferring and emitting themselves. I mean, the fact that we're even doing this live broadcast, there's tons of frequencies that are happening that we can't see, that we can't taste, that we can't touch. We can only access them if we tune in with the right instruments and the right equipment in order to perceive and pick up on them. So this is an invitation to take those same concepts that you use in your day-to-day life of accepting these intangible, elusive modalities that we use day in and day out, and applying them more personally, so that you could take that same concept that maybe there's more that's happening around me than what it is that I'm perceiving. And I can only take in visually, audibly, stimulously, that which I have the filter in order to capture. and anything else is going to be filtered out of the picture so that we don't see a big mass of tons of little particles everywhere. We can actually look around. I'm looking around my office right now. I can see a lamp, a bookshelf, a chair, a table. I can see these things without impediment, and they all have shape and form, but they're all made up of the same invisible stuff. So as we go through this course, we're going to be playing around with that invisible space that we can't really say for certain is happening there. And as you start to shift that filter, change the lens out, put a different filter in place, you may find that you pick up on different things and other things become eliminated. So this is all about just switching out that filter, take it on as an experiment, have fun with it. And I invite you to do it in places that it's easy, wherever it's easy. If you can't take this and apply it to the big stuff right now, that's okay. Apply it where it's easy so you can start to build some trust with yourself, with life, and with these principles. And you can start to see for yourself that, that change is possible. So let's dive in. This first class is all focused on 3 keys to instant empowerment. Again, when my heart was calling, Chrissy, you need to do something to support people, I said, what is it that they need to know? And my heart said, they need to know what things are going to be most applicable right now in this moment that they can just grab the concept and instantly start to pull into their life. So the first thing that keeps in my mind are 3 keys to instant empowerment and how to shift from that experience of being a victim of your circumstances to an empowered experience in an instant, regardless of what factors are outside of your control. So regardless of what circumstances are happening around you, these are 3 main keys that if you apply, if you go back to, if you could pull even just one of them up instantly, any situation, you will shift from feeling like everything is happening to you, and you could start to approach it from, I'm equipped to handle what is in front of me, and it's okay for me to move forward. That's when we move forward. When we're confident, we take action. Part of this series that I haven't mentioned yet is that I'm going to be sharing a 5-step process to transform fear into confidence. Now, I originally taught these principles to business owners to help them to take consistent action in building their business, but I felt it was very applicable to today's current state of affairs. So we'll be bringing that to the mix too. But for today, we're going to focus on these 3 keys to instant empowerment. Now, I took these 3 keys for instant empowerment from a set of 7 rules for empowerment. I pulled out the 3 that I felt were most potent, most timely, and easiest to kind of grab and allow yourself to start playing around with, to start sinking into your life. I'll share a little bit more about those rules after I share these top 3 that I picked. And again, all 7 of the rules are really great. These 3 I felt were just the most potent and timely. So rule number 1, this is going to be your first key to empowerment. Rule number 1, all is unfolding for my reconciliation and evolution. Now, when we look at life from this pass, fail, get right, get wrong, I'm either getting it right or I'm getting it wrong kind of way of looking, then we really stagnate what it is that we came here to experience. We limit ourselves from having a fuller experience in life. And it's not really true. It's not a matter of waking up, getting things right, and then doing it again. It's a matter of embracing the fact that obviously this is an ongoing evolution. You started out as a wee little babe. Actually, you started out as one of these invisible molecules that I was talking about, right? Nothing. Out of seemingly nothing, boop, there you became. This little cell, this little zygote, this little embryo, this little fetus, this little baby, this little newborn, this toddler, this preteen, this teenager, this adult, this parent. If you haven't noticed, if you haven't been witness to this yet, you're an evolution. You're an ongoing, unfolding evolution. Your entire lifespan is an ongoing evolution. In every moment, you are shifting, you are changing, you are growing, you are developing. We don't see every single change, every single growth, every single development, because again, that filter is in place. So we're not able to see all the little minuscule parts of our growth and our evolution as it happens. But you and I both know that when we looked in the mirror 15 years ago and we looked in the mirror today, we're seeing a different reflection there. There's an evolution that you didn't have to make happen. There's an evolution that your only participation in is just to keep showing up every day, to keep showing up. That's it. You didn't even have to do that. If you notice, your body did it for you, push you forward, continue your growth process, continue the evolution of you. It is happening as a natural side effect. It happens to the plants, it happens to the animals, it happens to everything that we see that is living and growing in our world. It is all an evolution. We evolve throughout the year. Our planet that we live on evolves. Everything is this ongoing evolution. And when we can start to look at life, not as this thing that I'm showing up for today, and maybe I'll get it right, and then bam, I can hit that little marker of perfection and then never have to change again. I mean, we all know that. We're not looking to stay stagnant. We're looking to evolve. Now, most of us think about that evolution to a certain point. I want to evolve to this point of level in life, this level of success in life, this level of accomplishment, whatever that accomplishment looks like in your life. We think about that, but we don't think about the fact that and then there's just going to be more. So if we look at this not as a start, stop, get right, wrong kind of thing, and we just accept that just like the flowers and the trees and all of the rest of nature, we are here to evolve. And everything that's happening, everything that takes place in our world. And again, I'm not saying that you have to adapt this right now, as I'm telling you the very first time, as a core belief part of your system. But you can absolutely take time to reflect over the fact that there is an evolution that's happening. And you absolutely can start to experiment with this idea that if it happens in front of you, if it shows up in your world, it is not what is happening to you. It is what is unfolding before you to aid in this ongoing evolution. Now, for my reconciliation, that's a little bit deeper of a concept in the sense that we're coming from the angle of the only time that we are shook up in life, the only time that that rug can be put out from underneath us. And those of you that are super faithful, you're going to know what I'm talking about here for sure. The only time that we can get shook up is when we are in doubt, when we are in fear, and when we are in worry. When those things, when we lose confidence, that's when we get shook up. So what I mean by all is unfolding to my reconciliation and evolution, that evolution that we already discussed, but the reconciliation is becoming aware of where you have fearful, doubtful, we could even say faithless thoughts. Anywhere that you are lacking confidence, you are going to become aware of through this unfolding process of life. Day in, day out, life is happening, not to you, but for you. It's unfolding before you. Everywhere you go, there it is. You don't have to pre-pave the roads. You don't have to build the structures. No, you just literally walk forward and there is life to meet you everywhere that you go. So as it is unfolding before you, it's there before you arrive. Have you noticed? You didn't show up and like, okay, where did everything go? No, it's there before you. So as it's unfolding before you, start to experiment with this idea that if what is unfolding before you doesn't look like grace, doesn't look like support, doesn't look like life has your back, then perhaps the reason it's appearing that way is to show you where you are disconnected with your own self, with your own abilities, with your own confidence. And we can flip this around for those of you that like the deeper spiritual aspect of things. We can even say this is where you started to lose faith that God has your back. If you believe that you're part of a connected, supported unfolding, that you're part of this divine perfection that is being controlled beyond you, but you're here participating in it, knowing that you're backed, knowing that you're supported, knowing that every step you take, God's there to meet you. If this is your faith, if this is what you believe, here's your opportunity to live it to a deeper integration. As life happens and you feel the worries, you feel the doubts, you feel the concerns, your mind starts to go, consider starting to look at it from the perspective of, I am not the victim of my circumstances. I am an empowered being standing here in witness to circumstances that are unfolding before me, that are showing me where I lack confidence within myself or within this universe that I'm participating with. And as life unfolds, I am able to reconcile these disconnected parts of myself, dive deeper into my faith, and allow the ongoing evolution that is inevitable to continue to unfold before me and within me. Definitely, for sure, hit some comments in the chat or drop some comments below or hit reply on the email that I sent this replay link and let me know. How is this landing for you? How's this feeling for you? Do you already approach life this way? Have you used this principle before? Because this is key number one. Key number one for instant empowerment. You can drop me, or I have found myself in various situations in which I found myself thinking, why is this happening? Why is this going on? Why are they talking to me this way? Why are they saying these things? Why do I have to go through this suffering that I'm going through right now? Why can't they just chill out and relax? Until I realize, wait a minute, am I a victim of my circumstances? Am I being victimized right now, out of control with this thing that I don't like happening to me, inundating on me? Or am I an empowered being, backed by the universe, backed by God, supported by faith and knowingness that if it's in front of me, if it is in front of me, it is for my reconciliation and for my evolution. So when I stop listening to, looking at what is happening around me from the guise of, oh my gosh, what can I do from here to protect and survive? That's very egoic, basic thinking. It's survival instincts. It's very normal. There's nothing wrong with your mind going this way. There literally is nothing wrong with your mind going this way. I could talk more about how you will not create more wrongness by having wrong thoughts. So don't worry about that. Thoughts are going to do what thoughts do. But what if they just float through to show you what is really happening in those deep, unlooked at core beliefs, not the beliefs that you talk about having, but the beliefs that are really operating your life and running the show. Typically, they come from a survival place until we start to step outside of ourselves in a self-reflective way and start to witness our choices, our actions. Now, as you start to witness your choices, your actions and reactions in the moment, you may find that you are doing just that, defending yourself, trying to claim your story, trying to get people to understand you, whatever it is that you're holding on to that you think isn't happening. I'm inviting you to let that go and start to look at it as the invitation that you're really receiving. It's not how do I survive this situation, but how do I change to a more empowered experience within myself while this situation is happening. One of my favorite things to do is to take whatever worry, angst, fearful thought that comes through my mind and flip it in over to a praising affirmation that the resolution that is needed for this problem that came up, that brought up the worry, that brought up the fear, that the resolution has already happened, that it's already underway. So you can flip that worry into empowerment in an instant when you realize that all is unfolding for your reconciliation and evolution. Then you can say, why is this happening to me? And instead say, show me what I need to learn about myself in this moment. This isn't an accident. These things happen for a reason, and everybody's experiencing life however they're experiencing life right now, regardless of what they're looking at, engaging with. I mean, yes, that does play a part in how you're experiencing all this, but I assure you that not everybody's having the same exact experience, watching the same exact things and interpreting it the same exact way. Rule number one, the first key to instant empowerment, all is unfolding for my reconciliation and evolution. So the second key that we're going to talk about today comes from rule number 3 from the 7 rules. Only I can create or destroy my peace and fulfillment. This is another instant empowerment shift. If you are a victim of your circumstances, if life is happening to you, if all of these things are outside of your control, does your peace and fulfillment, is it determined by how well things line up around you? Because if that's how you've been living your life, chances are you are not feeling very much at peace and fulfilled right now during these uncertain times. Chances are you're really feeling challenged by this. And hopefully that's why you said yes to this course. And hopefully you're finding this beneficial so far. Definitely let me know. But what if you step into that perspective? What if in those moments of angst, worry, doubt, fear, frustration, whatever it is that's coming up that is not peace and fulfillment, what if you stop and say, what if? What if only I can create or destroy my peace and fulfillment? What if it's not an outside job? What if it's actually an inside job? What if it's independent of the choices of other people, the actions of other people or our society? I really hope so, because otherwise we're going to continue to be at mercy for everything that happens of the choices that other people make, and it doesn't leave us very empowered. So why not experiment and say only I can create or destroy my peace and fulfillment? And how we do that is by understanding, we take that first rule. If all of life is happening for my reconciliation and my empowerment, then as soon as I shift from I'm a victim of my circumstances, why is this happening to me? This is out of my control. Everything's going to get worse from here. That is creating a non-peaceful, unfulfilling experience within you that nobody knows is happening unless you're giving voice out to it. So if you're not in a place where you're giving voice out to it and can work it out externally, some of us have that, some of us don't. And in those moments where everything's kind of pressing in, which if you really integrate this stuff into your life, you'll start to realize nothing is pressing in, everything is pressing up. It's coming up because it wants your attention. And it feels like it's suffocating you because it's trying to eliminate an aspect of your personality that is used to thinking that you can control it all. Just not the case. But what you can't control, you can create it, you can destroy it, is your peace and fulfillment. You will be as at peace and as fulfilled as your internal experience is. So if you're waiting for all of life to line up, be prepared to suffer more than what is necessary. Suffering is going to happen because this is the way that we experience life. Problems, we can just call suffering problems. Problems are going to happen. Problems are going to arise. There is going to be problems. But because there's a problem in front of you, doesn't mean you have to destroy your own peace and fulfillment. It just means you go back to rule number one, you reconcile with yourself, you see the place that you are not in faith, but are in fear, and you come back to this present moment. You realize that all of life is unfolding before you for your evolution. And then in this space, you can totally utilize this. Only I create or destroy my peace and fulfillment. So a great way to start implementing and knowing when to integrate this is when you find yourself throwing blame around. If they would just say the right thing, or if they just didn't talk to me that way, then I would have still had a peaceful morning. If only this or that would happen, then I would be a lot more fulfilled right now. When you find yourself thinking those thoughts, and fulfillment comes from that space of enoughness or not enoughness. And a lot of us are really being inundated right now externally by the not enoughness. Not enough on our grocery stores, not enough time to go out, not enough time in the day for homeschooling and work and all of it. All of us many of us are experiencing a not enoughness. If you look out into the world, not enough. There's not enough to go around. Some people are hungry. Some people don't have houses. Some people aren't getting the help that they need. There's not enough, not enough, not enough, not enough. If you're having a not enough experience, you're not having a fulfilling one. So if you're having a not enough experience of yourself or of life around you, I'm not getting enough support, I'm not getting enough patience, I'm not getting enough understanding. That not enoughness is trying to get your attention to say, this is where you're limiting your life experience, not because you can control the outside circumstances, but because you're stopping yourself from having a fulfilling experience. You're stopping yourself from being enough, having enough, experiencing enough in this moment. We are surrounded by abundance at all time. We are surrounded by limitless resources at all time. But if we only go through our 3D experience, our see, touch, feel, physical world to get there, it will appear that there is not enough. How life moves you beyond that so that you don't become enslaved to these physical material things and think that your enoughness depends on them. How life works, because you are this blessed, is that life is saying, no, no, no. If you've been getting your fulfillment from things outside of you, we must press pause on that before you move forward. Because if you move forward in this state of being, then you will always think that your fulfillment comes from outside of you. And I'm trying to show you that it comes from within you. It comes from within you. And it starts by remembering all of life is unfolding before you. It is happening for your evolution and for your reconciliation, so that you can remember that only you can create or destroy your peace and fulfillment. I have a video that you can check out on my YouTube channel that talks about instant anxiety relief, and that's a core concept. You have to care enough about your peace of mind that you are unwilling to destroy it, unwilling to let that happen. When you hit that point, things start to shift, and you can experiment with it now. Experiment with it now. See what happens for you. All right, my final key, the third key, comes from rule number 5. And this is a really great one that I feel like all of life is trying to tell us right now. It's a wonderful one to take in. What I do to or for myself, I do to or for others, and vice versa. So we could take this apparent pandemic that we have on our hands right now, and we can say that we've all been informed through mainstream media that there are people that are more at risk than other people. So for somebody like myself that doesn't fall into the demographic of not, having those preconceived health conditions, being above the age of 60, there's certain preconceived things, or preconditioned things mean that you are more likely, more susceptible. So if I just continue to move around throughout the world, and I may not be affected by the symptoms that can come about, but by me interacting with someone else, I can unknowingly affect their life. I find this to be extremely poetic and artistic way of nature, having us wake up to the fact that we matter so much. We matter and impact others so greatly that it does matter, not just the experience that you're having. You're having an experience that's affecting others, and how you are experiencing yourself is how you're going to end up affecting others. And the more aware that you are of yourself, the more aware of how you can positively support others. And the less aware you are of yourself, the less you're going to realize how your action, your lack of taking care of yourself, are making your mental wellness and well-being, your physical, emotional, spiritual well-being, making that a top priority. When you think that you're either giving to yourself or giving to other people, or it just affects you if you have a poor diet or poor taking care of yourself. It doesn't just affect you. It affects everybody else, because it affects your health, it affects your energy, it affects how you show up in the world, it affects how you feel when you show up in the world, and it also affects how susceptible you become to affecting other people. Now, pandemic, no pandemic, with this current health situation, without it, this rule still applies. What I do for myself, I do for others. What I do for others, I do for myself. So when you're at home in quarantine, seeing horrific images on TV or scary headlines on TV, or a reason to have concern for other people, and you're like me and you want to do something that would make a difference, but you see there's not really anything you can do. You can't leave your house. You can't go fix it. You can't go save it. You can't make it better. You can't make it right. You can't control what's happening out there. What you can do is take better care of yourself, because the better care that you take of yourself, the better care you will take of other people. And you can play this really simple game. You can tell yourself that every time that you do something that's loving, kind, supportive for yourself, it doesn't just affect you, it goes everywhere else in the world. So whenever I get away for a couple of days, I'm a mom, I'm a business owner. When I get a couple of days away by myself, when I take a solo vacation to the woods where I'm unplugged and just seeping in nature, I don't do that just for me. I don't do it just to restore me so that my family can benefit. I take that time and I do it for every mom, for every woman, for every business owner, for every mom, woman, business owner out there that cannot take a vacation or believes that she can't take a vacation or isn't taking that time away. I do it for all of us. When I brush my teeth, I brush all of our teeth. When I take care of myself, I am taking care of everybody. Now, I can't prove to you that your life benefits by my taking care of myself, but I can prove to myself that I have a much better experience, feel much more motivated and inspired to take care of myself when I lay down the intention that taking care of myself helps other people. If I want to make a difference for other people, sitting around and worrying about them or talking about how everything's going wrong isn't going to help me. Remember that last rule, only I can create or destroy my my fulfillment and my peace. It's also not going to help others, because when you find peace, when you feel that peace within you, when you feel that fulfillment inside of you, when you feel that self-satisfaction of knowing that you've done something good for yourself, that energy jets off of you like a radio tower signal going out to the universe. And in those moments, you are exuding, you are radiating, taken care of, loved, nurtured. And that has a ripple effect that goes around the planet. It goes throughout every single human being. You matter that much. You staying home has that big of an impact. You taking care of yourself has that big of an impact. And also for us that are at home, that have more than our share of others to take care of, know that when you do that act of taking care of others in a loving, kind, supported way, you're going to go through the same motions of doing that thing, of cleaning up that mess, of taking care of that one more task, even though they could take care of it. Whatever those things that feel like demands, and you're just thinking to yourself, oh, I just need time for myself, or why can't people just take care of themselves, or why does everybody rely on me, or why do I have to do everything around here? When you find yourself in those moments, you can employ this same thing and say, okay, first of all, I'm going to be cleaning up the mess either way. I can be cleaning up the mess and having a horrible experience of it within myself, or I can clean up this mess, understanding, recognizing that I am giving a gift to someone else. And by doing it in a loving manner, I'm giving a gift to myself. And what I do for others, I do for myself. Not only am I cleaning that mess up for them, but I'm cleaning that mess up for me. It's no longer in my environment. We can flip this around. We can integrate it in superficially, deep. It doesn't matter. It is all effective. And that's why I'm encouraging everyone that during this time of stillness, while we are all of nature, all of life, all the media, everybody's saying, stay home. This is where your attention should be. What you do for yourself, you do for others, and vice versa. We're being invited to stay home. That means get out of your head and get into your body, because this is your home. Pay attention to it. Take care of it, love it, nurture it, cleanse it out physically, emotionally, spiritually. Tend to yourself like you're tending to every single person that you see outside that needs tending to. You extend that same loving support to yourself that you desire to do for others, I assure you, it will change worlds starting with yours. And since we started this conversation with highlighting the fact that we have two different experiences, our external experience and our internal experience, and that we are the only ones that can do anything about the internal, and we can't do but so much about the external, then I think this just shows us coming that full circle around. What you do for yourself is what you do for others, and vice versa. What you do for others is what you do for yourself. Allow yourself to step into a more empowered experience in an instant, any time that you are feeling otherwise in this situation and beyond. And I definitely want to know how these 3 keys land for you. Now, as I said, I took these 3 keys from the 7 rules of empowerment. And those rules originated in the Empathic Healers course. And it's a really amazing course that I offered back before the end of the year. I think it was late fall of 2019. And it's an amazing course. It's still available online. And what it is that it's a course that is for healers, therapists, yoga teachers, new thought leaders and visionaries, coaches, energy workers. It really is for anyone at this time because in a way, we've all had to become our own healers, our own therapists, our own thought leaders as we are kind of cut off from other people. So this extension, this invitation goes out to anyone who's watching this, even if you don't find yourself in one of those categories, but that's who's tends to fall into this. And it's an amazing process that will take you through a deeper understanding of how you can have and develop healing practices for yourself that benefit yourself and others, regardless if you start an external healing practice or not. It's a really powerful course, and it's timely for right now. I feel that we're in a wave that healers are needed for ourselves again, but also for other people. And I feel that understanding these basic fundamental understandings of working with your internal and external selves is extremely timely for right now and will serve you as well as other people as we continue to move forward. So this course is great for anyone who struggles with work-life balance, procrastination, or lack of follow-through, or struggle to stick to eating or living that supports the life experience that they crave most. So especially, during this quarantine time, if you're having a really hard time staying on track and sticking to things, this is a great course for helping you to understand why you're getting distracted, what you can do about that distraction, why you're getting extra energy drains, what is causing you to feel more drained energetically throughout the day, and how you can start to replenish that on your own and stop those unnecessary energy leaks. It's great for anyone who finds themselves greatly affected or distracted by others' emotions or the actions of others. So if you're someone who has always felt like, gosh, I'm really good at keeping it all together until somebody else doesn't have it all together, then this is exactly what this course is about. It's just to help you to understand how you can heal yourself, how you can tap into other modalities. It's kind of like a big permission slip to just have a more meaningful experience of your physical self and your emotional self as you're going throughout life. And I thought, since it was so timely to right now, that I would create an exclusive invitation for you to join. So if you want to check out more information, you can head over to holisticrestoration.com, put in this URL here, empath-special, and you'll be able to get that at a discounted rate. I think I did it around 50% off right now. I just want to take away excuses. So definitely check that out if it is something that you are interested in. And that is the conclusion of everything that I had on deck to share right now currently for this class. And what I'll do is just take a moment, and I'm going to put the recording on pause and just check in with everybody and see if we want to open it up for some Q&A. Okay? Okay, so what I'm seeing here in the chat is that this is amazing. This is totally on point. The fears have been going crazy in my head. Yes, and even some of the chats saying about how it's not even about necessarily the virus, not so concerned about their physical health as much as just all the fear and dealing with all the fear and all the people that are out there being fearful right now. And again, if that is you, if you're having that experience, know that you're not alone. I'm seeing it here in the chat. I can validate it for myself. It's pretty easy to pick up on once you start to look for this happening in your world. But if you are feeling that, if you're feeling the fears of others affecting you, definitely check out the Empathic Healers course. That's exactly what that course will guide you through. Better understanding why that is, how to manage that, how to keep yourself not in a safe, protected bubble where no one can penetrate you. We're not trying to do that. We're trying to help you to relax fully understand and fully integrate what all this information that you're getting inundated with that feels so overwhelming, that feels so distracting, that knocks you off your course, what it is inviting you to, so that you can shift your relationship with it and have a different experience. Regardless if you move forward with that course or not, I invite you to move forward with this series. I have lots on deck, as you already know, and I'm going to be adding a couple more courses to the agenda as it is. Keep your feedback coming. Keep inviting other people to plug into this course. I thank you for helping to support this series and its creation and its distribution. And the best ways that you can do that is either through donating, if you feel called to donate. And those that have donated, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It really goes a long way in helping to get this message out there. And if you are not in a place that you can donate, I I invite you to share this link, share a link to the course with other people, help other people and help out getting this message out there just by sharing it and getting people connected to either Facebook community, one-on-one, however it is that we can be more connected and be more supported. I appreciate your time and your energy. I look forward to bringing you the next class in this series, and I look forward to more feedback on how today's class was. All right, have a wonderful, wonderful day. Practice, practice, practice the different concepts that I shared, and give me your feedback on how they're working for you. Okay, until next time, love you. Bye.